Hello, my name is Ayodeji Ameze, and I'm here to teach the subject, Basic Science. We'll be looking at the topic, Family Health, Part 2. Most times, people prefer to eat junk food, or when they're not eating junk food, if they prefer to eat, say, a food like rice, they usually do not mind eating rice for breakfast, lunch, and even dinner. Some other people don't mind using substances that are harmful to their bodies because it kind of makes them feel good. Today, we'll be learning about the way we should eat and the kind of substances we should take into our bodies. At the end of today's class, you should be able to define what healthy eating is. You should also be able to define the term balanced diet. We should be able to define what drug abuse is, give some examples of drugs, and state the effects of drug abuse. First and foremost, our topic is family health. We've seen what family health is from our previous class. And we said family health can be seen as a state of having every member of a family free from sicknesses. Therefore, what do we do to stay healthy? Some of the ways include eating healthily and using drugs appropriately. What is healthy eating? Healthy eating simply is seen as eating different foods that give nutrients needed to stay healthy and feel good, have energy, all this combined in the right amount. Nutrition. When we think of nutrition, what comes to our mind? Eating. Yes, you're not very far from it. It's a process by which our bodies use the food we get and eat to grow and stay healthy. That is nutrition. We have different classes of food nutrients. We have carbohydrates, proteins, fats and oils, which is also known as lipids, vitamins, mineral salts, and water. Carbohydrates are simply the energy-giving foods. When you take in the carbohydrates, you boost your energy. Proteins, on the other hand, are known as the body-building foods. They also help in the repair of worn-out tissues. Fats and oil also serve to give us energy. The vitamins helps boost your immune system. The mineral salts have different functions, one of which is it helps in the formation of blood. Water, as we know, helps rehydrate you so you feel good. It also helps remove waste from your body. Typical sources of carbohydrates, one source is our rice. We have yam, maize, etc. A source of protein is seen in eggs, beans, meat, etc. Fat and oil. We find fat and oil in our groundnut oil, in granules. We can get groundnut oil, and some vegetables. Vitamins. We can get vitamins basically from fruits and some other sources. Also, mineral salts, green vegetables, but not just green vegetables, vegetables in general. Water. We know our water bodies, but we should ensure that the water we take in is clean. This brings us to the term balanced diet. Remember that we said we have 6 classes of food. We have the carbohydrates, proteins, fat and oil, which is also known as lipids, mineral salts, vitamins, and water. When you have all of these food sources in the right proportion, we mean by proportion, in the right quantity, then we have a balanced diet, which can also be called a balanced meal. Our plate of food here and the water makes up a good example of a meal that we can call balanced. This is moi moi, as we call it in Nigeria. It is made of beans. Beans is a source of protein. Our fish here also is a source of protein, but this particular fish is fried with oil. Oil is found in this fish. So note that we have protein, oil. Rice gives us carbohydrates. Our vegetable salad here, remember we said that vitamins and mineral salts can be gotten from vegetables. So this gives us vitamins and mineral salts. Then we find our water. So we can see in this meal we have oil, protein, water, vitamins, mineral salts, and carbohydrates. A typical example of a balanced meal. Remember, we said one of the ways we can keep our bodies healthy is by taking in the right drugs the right way. What are drugs? Drugs are simply substances. When taken into the body, they affect the way our bodies work. These substances are substances other than food. We're not talking about food, but we're talking about every other substance that when we take it, it affects the way our bodies work. We can take in drugs by injecting them into our bodies, or swallowing them, or by inhaling them. Drugs, when taken as prescribed by the doctor, is the right way of taking drugs or using drugs. For example, you go to the hospital and complain that you have a headache. The doctor may give you drugs and say, take 2 in the mornings only. It will be wrong for you to take beyond 2 or take 2 much later in the day. So taking drugs as prescribed by the doctor is the right way to take drugs. But there's a wrong way to take drugs. Sometimes we take drugs without the prescription of our doctor. Or when the doctor has prescribed, we choose to take it just the way we want. It's a wrong way to take drugs. It can be seen as the illegal way to take drugs, while the legal way of taking drugs is by taking it as prescribed by your doctor. Furthermore, to talk about illegal ways to take drugs, there are some drugs that are seen as illegal drugs. These drugs should not be taken. Now, what are illegal drugs? Illegal drugs are particular types of drugs that should not be taken. Remember, we should not take these drugs. Why? Because they are harmful to our bodies. Sometimes they may cause damages to our hearts. They may also cause damages to our livers, our organs generally. Sometimes they affect the way our brains work. So these drugs should not be taken. Every drug used in the wrong or illegal way, we can say that it is known as substance abuse or drug abuse. Some examples of illegal drugs include cocaine, marijuana, crystal meth, heroin. Most times, these illegal drugs can be addictive. What does addiction mean? Addiction simply means the difficulty in stopping the use of drugs or something. But here, for our study, we're looking at drugs. Even when we know that these things are harmful to our bodies, it means that you're addicted to it. You know it's hurting you, but you keep using it because you can hardly stop it by yourself. That is addiction. Let's look at some effects of drug abuse. Number 1, drug abuse. When we use drug wrongly, we can get sick. Furthermore, it can make us make decisions wrongly. For example, a person who has taken in cocaine, he feels very good as they think. He comes around and just probably do something he should not normally do. Or it makes us make decisions wrongly. It can also make us behave weirdly. A young child who has taken in cocaine may just come into the class, dance around, sit on the table, act as a teacher, and begin to say things that are not correct. This child is no longer in his normal state of mind. That is one effect illegal drugs can have on people. Sometimes it can cause a baby to be formed abnormally when a woman who is pregnant takes them in. Sometimes the baby may come out and be too small. These are some effects of drug abuse. We have come to the end of today's class. Let's do a recap of what we have learned. We learned that healthy eating can be defined as eating foods that are necessary to stay healthy, feel good, and have energy in the right proportion. We've also learned that nutrition simply is the process of which we take in food, eat it, and stay healthy. We learned about the 6 classes of food. What are they? Carbohydrates, proteins, fats and oil, which is also known as lipids, mineral salts, vitamins, and water. Drugs, we said, are substances that are different from food that affect the way a person's body works. We also learned that drugs should be taken as prescribed by a doctor. When we do not do it the right way, we may get sick, we may begin to behave weirdly, etc. There are some drugs we also learned that are seen as harmful and should be avoided. I'll ask us a question. I hope we get the answer correctly. Which of the following is a class of food? Carbonates, lipids, or potassium? The correct answer is lipids. Lipids is one of the 6 classes. This brings us to the end of our class. Thank you.